Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 9th of August. Well, that was quite a move. Pretty simple to see from our magenta being above yellow there. And again, they just took advantage of option setup and ripped shorts all the way through. And it converted us to the start of a green candle. And you can see magenta leading strongly. The improvement in the shakeout from a S&P standpoint, there's a slight improvement, but we've got the turnaround here from DOC red, but green hasn't pivoted up. Really, you would look for, if you're going to see a continuation of the up move, would be the steel dipping down to move below cyan or getting above that 13.5 would be enough to give it some support to go forward. The problem you've got is the incongruency within the NASDAQ. Not quite the same readings, and a much weaker shakeout gets back above negative 13.5. That would be a big bonus for it. But again, anything above the 23% was long and pretty straightforward from that standpoint. That it's just a matter of playing the intraday. It was pretty clean from that standpoint. Treasuries, again, the bond market is just really having fits with this because they just don't know. You had your numbers for unemployment come through. Of course, they were rigged. It was just about the headline reading, and that was enough to drive things and give it the support needed. And the Fed's backstopping, with liquidity. So, everything's good for now. The oil creep, not good because, again, this moves quickly back up into that mid-80 range, which is likely to do. You get the same problems. You're not cooling inflation in any way, shape, or form. The question really becomes is how bad is the consumer and how much effect that will have on consumer spending. And that they can't hide. There's just no way to move around that. The euro super elevated here, nice, loving it, despite the fact that no real justification for it, but that doesn't matter. We follow what the readings are, and this is the beauty of life when it comes to the market. You don't trade reality, you trade perceptions, and that's everything. Gold continuing its move back up to the upside is going to continue to grow. There's no question about that. Yes, you're going to get your fits and spurts back and forth, but once it flips, those become just buy opportunities because this isn't going to stop, and you're going to see the same things from the cryptos now that they've still have to work out some of the issues with Bitcoin as far as excess supply, blah, 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 the Mt. Gox, everything like that. But at the end of the day, miners can't survive these sub-levels, particularly if they have to pay for electricity. If they don't have to pay for electricity, fine, but there aren't that many that don't have to pay for electricity. From an ETH standpoint, also big struggle relative to where Bitcoin is, and it's just that normal back and forth. So we can see it from here when we started the day. MBI white had collapsed. Magenta was already over at that particular point. The DOC orange dipped below red on the pivot. And that was right above the 23%, and it was just nonstop throughout the day. Yeah, we've got some back and forth with magenta tipping down, but you didn't really get any movement of MBI white until right now. But you still have magenta leading at this particular point, but at this particular case you look for a blue crossover of the gray with the magenta dipping down, particularly below 25. You would expect continuation at least to the 50%. Positive extreme wise goes right back to the beginning of the break it down, the 52.30 range, 39ish. So we'll just call it 52.40. Intraday didn't require a whole lot of thought because from pre-market it had skyrocketed, and then it pretty much just stayed there. Even here in the post-market, they're continuing to drive things. It was higher earlier. We had this nice peak midpoint of the European sessions, traded off just fractionally from there. But again, I think you're going to get some back and forth opposites on that because now you've got a bunch of call buyers jumping into the scenario and looking to take advantage of that. So they'll have to reverse that. As always, anything relevant up on the Skype chat. Have a good one. Trade well.